Man, sometimes I'm not sure which is worse. In a way, in scenarios like this, you almost would rather see your team get blown out and just have the game go to garbage time than to have them come all the way back, being down 20 in the fourth quarter, make some insane stops on steals with breakaway baskets at the end of the game, to have them come all the way back to take the lead by 1 with just 11 seconds left, to then some miscues on defense to allow Michael Porter Jr. to get inside the paint, switching onto Coby White. No one comes over to help. Bulls still have a chance, only down 1 with 5 seconds left, but then lose the ball on an inbounds play. Not a great pass by Tre Jones. Bulls are forced to foul. Clowney hits both free throws. Bulls don't have any timeouts because, of course, they had to burn a timeout when they couldn't get the ball inbound on the first attempt, and they throw it to Vucevic to have him run up the floor and throw up a prayer. That's not his shot, nor is it really his style to handle the ball running up the floor like that. Coby White was there to have the ball sent to him. Interesting choice by Tre Jones to send it over to Vucevic instead. Anyway, I kid what I said at the start of the video. Obviously, I'd much prefer to see my team make a strong effort to come back in a game when the game seemed otherwise over, play with some hustle and effort to get some stops and some strong drives to the hoop. I would much rather see an exciting finish like that than a blowout loss, but a brutal loss nonetheless to lose a game when it really looked like they were going to pull off the improbable. That's the other thing too, because the Bulls, while they cut the lead down to 2 after trailing by 20, the Nets then opened it back up to a 6-point lead. The Bulls missed on the ensuing possession. Nets grabbed the rebound with just a little over a minute left to go, and you thought, all right, that was it. They made a valiant effort. They tried to come back, but it's not going to go their way. Then the Bulls rattled off 7 points in 48 seconds to take the lead, and you thought, yeah, there's no way this young Brooklyn team is going to be able to finish this one off. They just blew a 20-point lead. They're defeated now. It's a sign of a young team, right? That made it harder because even when you did think the game was probably over, the Bulls found a way to go on a quick 7-0 run to take the lead with just 11 seconds left. So anyway, here are my thoughts on this game. I'm not going to call this a bad loss per se, but this is, of course, a Brooklyn Nets team that was 11-27 going into tonight, a team that isn't trying to win, although sure, the Bulls had an incredible fourth quarter. They played great basketball in that stretch. They almost came back to win the game. They really should have never found themselves in that position to begin with, and a lot of it was due to the fact that the Bulls could not hit a 3 in the first 3 quarters of the game, while the Nets, on the other hand, seemed like they couldn't miss from behind the arc. That's what bothered me the most, was that the Bulls could not move away from the 3. Like, I get it. The Nets are a big physical team inside. It's hard to score in the paint, but when you're clanking all of your threes, you got to try something else. I believe the Bulls were 4 for 21 from 3 at one point in the third quarter. Yeah, you probably should stop shooting threes. They didn't though, and they would eventually start hitting them in the fourth, which really brought them back into the game. But yeah, the Bulls shooting is what really did them in the first half, and then also the amount of second chance opportunities they gave the Nets, 11 offensive rebounds in total, because the Bulls, surprisingly, they took care of the ball. They only had 7 turnovers in this game. They outscored the Nets 54-40 in points in the paint, yet again, why it was even more maddening that they were settling for so many outside shots. They had 24 fast break points compared to the Nets 14, but yeah, the shooting was bad in the first 3 quarters, and they got outworked on the glass. That was really the difference in this game for why they fell behind so early and could not get out of it until the fourth quarter. Shout out to Isaac Okoro for making some big defensive plays in the final minutes of the game to give the Bulls a fighting chance. 3 steals in this one for Okoro. Modest struggled tonight on offense. He was cold, 4 for 15 from the floor, 2 for 7 from 3. He did get to the line quite a few times though, and managed to finish the game with another 15 points, his season average, but he made up for it with his strong defensive effort and awareness and protecting the rim with the weak side help to reject shots. You know, they had given him 5 blocks during the game, which was a career high for him in blocks, but looking at the box score now, they only gave him 4. I guess they might have taken 1 away from him, not really sure why. Modest also had a steal and no turnovers. It was good to see Modest Buzelis get the minutes that he needs. We were talking about this in the last game against the Jazz, where he only tallied 19 minutes in total. Patrick Williams, getting more minutes than he didn't play in the entire fourth quarter in that game. Not great when you're focusing on his development as a player. Tonight, though, he played 32 minutes and played in crunch time as well. Modest, despite his poor shooting, was a +7 when he was on the court. Nikola Vucevic, another strong game for him. More clutch blocks, the second game in a row where he's now had a big block in the final minute. Vucevic focused on getting inside in this game, was 9 for 14 from the field, 19 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 blocks. Jalen Smith was big tonight as well. I should say in the fourth quarter anyway. Billy decided to go with the double big lineup in the second half. that was the way to go in trying to be able to counter both Claxton and Clowney. He missed all of his threes through the first 3 quarters, but then 4 straight in the fourth to finish with 14 points, 13 rebounds, double-double for him, 4 assists, also 4 blocks. There was a block party in this game for the Bulls. They have 10 blocks in total as a team, also 10 steals. Ayo with some big contributions as well in the fourth quarter, using his speed to get to the basket quickly in transition after the Bulls were able to secure a stop. 18 points for Ayo on an efficient 7 for 13 shooting. And then Coby White. A better game than he had the other night against the Jazz, I'll give him that. Coby really started taking off in the third quarter where he was getting to the basket and finishing through traffic. 7 for 14 from the floor, 2 for 7 from 3. Had that huge steal when they went on that 7-0 run in 48 seconds in the final minute. For me, I've just been a little worried about Coby's decision making this season. Like, that was the biggest thing I was worried about with him ever since the Bulls first drafted him. That and his lack of consistency, but over time, especially last season, I felt like his decision making, his IQ and awareness on the court had gotten a lot better. This season, it's kind of been a different story. It's almost like we're back to the old Coby days to an extent. Like, there was a point in the game where he scored 6 straight points coming out of halftime to bring the Bulls back within 11 after they were down 17 at half. Bulls get another stop, and he's bringing the ball up the floor in transition, and rather than trying to set up a play or finding cutters to the basket, he stops and pops for an off-balance 3. Obviously, he missed it. Like, that's just not a good shot. Not when your team is in rhythm, starting a little mini run, you're getting some momentum, and you have a one-and-done possession like that. And guess what? The Nets came back on the other end and sank a 3. A 6-point swing just like that. Again, he still had a better game, and I'm still giving him passes because he's been, up and down with injuries this season, but I need the decision-making to be better for Coby White. I need some better situational awareness when he's on the court. That's all. Anyway, tough loss. Yeah, it's a game they should have won, but it's also kind of one of those classic trap games. But the Bulls have Brooklyn once again back at home on Sunday. I know a lot of people are probably not going to be watching that game as it's the same time as the Bears play. So if you do miss the game, don't worry. I got you covered with the game recap here on the channel. In the meantime, though, guys, as always, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.